Right now at 10, more than a dozen people are getting help from the Red Cross tonight after their assisted living facility was set on fire. It happened on 35th Street, just north of Florist.
Katie Crowther is there live with more. And Katie, the fire appears to be intentional, right?
That's right, Steve and Carol. The fire, which happened in this building right here, according to people who live and work in it, they say it started in that second floor apartment by a resident who was mad that her cigarettes got taken away. Firefighters rushed to put out the blaze. They believe it was caused by a young woman who decided to do something very dangerous with her cigarette lighter.
She got mad and set her bed on fire. About that time, I smelled the smoke and went back in her apartment. It's filling up with smoke. I ran to go get the fire extinguisher, try to get her out, got her out, and got the rest of the clients out and called 911.
Thanks to Michael Brown, a caregiver for the 15 residents with mental and physical disabilities, no one was hurt.
It's good to hear that smoke detectors are going off in the building.
For Milwaukee Fire Battalion Chief Kenton Keiss and his team, this is the second apartment building fire they've fought in less than 24 hours. Last night, they responded to a fatal fire at 60th and Capitol. The man killed did not have a working smoke detector. Chief Keiss calls it a tragic reminder.
It has to be checked on a regular basis, at least twice a year.
But checking smoke detectors is not the only step in fire prevention.
Just be careful with extension cords, Christmas trees, extra heaters.
It is always important to take the proper precautions. Everyone affected by both fires has been helped by the local Red Cross. The fire here tonight has caused more than $200,000 worth of damage. It is still under investigation and charges could be pending. Reporting live, Katie Crowther, today's TMJ4.
Katie, thanks so much. Working smoke detectors are critical for the safety of you and your family. If you need one, just call the smoke detector hotline. The Milwaukee Fire Department will install one for you for free. The number right there on your screen, 414-286-8980.
For the first time, we are seeing what a Milwaukee police officer saw as he entered a room where a couple was being held hostage. Police say all this trouble at 76 and Townsend began as a drug-related home invasion. It ended this morning with one of the suspects taking his own life. Julia Fellow is live at the Police Administration Building with an update. Julia.
That's right, Carol, and Chief Ed Flynn wants you to see this intense video tonight to show you the life and death consequences his officers face in the job every day. The video begins here.
You sound like a good person who's trying to be in a bad situation here.
About 30 minutes into hostage negotiations.
I do not think you're a dope.
Seconds after the gunman makes demands for food with the hostages bound next to him, officers hear a shot. The officers bolt down the stairs with a shield. We stop the video here because what the tactical team sees next is too graphic for air. The suspect shot himself.
One can reasonably speculate that the first few shots were an attempt to trigger a suicide by cop.
Chief Ed Flynn says the man had 2 guns with him. The hostages were freed and are now being investigated for having illegal drugs inside the home,
including cocaine and marijuana, giving indications that this was in fact a drug house.
Chief Ed Flynn hopes more use of the body cameras will show the courage and restraint it takes to be a police officer.
They don't wait, they don't hesitate, they know there are hostages downstairs, they immediately place themselves in harm's way.
Another suspect was taken into custody outside of the home by police. We're also told that the male victim who was held hostage is now in the hospital with facial injuries while he was being held hostage. The female victim is now in police custody tonight. Reporting live outside the Police Administration Building, Julia Fellow, today's TMJ4.
Yeah, police definitely have a very dangerous job. Thank you very much, Julia.
The State Department of Justice will now investigate a shooting at a motorcycle shop in Neenah. Michael Funk was killed by police officers over the weekend. It all started, though, when another man took hostages inside the store. The DOJ will now decide whether charges should be filed against the officers involved.
An update tonight. Authorities have given the all clear after suspicious packages were found on the UW La Crosse campus. Several buildings were evacuated as authorities investigated. Those packages turned out to be luggage. There is no threat to campus.
Still no snow in southeast Wisconsin. Would you settle for sprinkles? Here's Chief Meteorologist John Milan.
We have seen a lot of rain over the last month or so. So with the mild temperatures, anything that's going to fall from the sky from now until about early next week is going to remain as rain. And look at these temperatures. 43 degrees still at the airport, 44 Racine and Kenosha, also Whitewater. Look at the 46 down in Janesville. It's going to be a very mild night tonight. Clouds, they're the blanket keeping the heat in right now. You see a few sprinkles out to the west around Dane County all the way out to about Columbia County. And you can see these little bands of sprinkles. There's not much rain that will fall from the sky, but if they do, it'll be nothing more than a sprinkle. Could still be around the morning hours, cloudy skies, mild temperatures starting out at 42 degrees. And then we're looking at a string of 50-degree days coming in. I'll tell you how many of those are going to come in just a few minutes.
All right, John, thanks.
New at 10, first responders to the San Bernardino shooting talk about what happened as they rushed into the Inland Regional Center.
One of the worst things I ever had experienced in my entire career. It was terrible.
Syed Farouk and his wife Tafshin Malik killed 14 people and wounded 20 more before they were killed by police. It's something these officers will never forget.
It was cloudy or smoky. The gunpowder was heavily prevalent in the room. But in the end, I think that the training just took over, and I think that we all knew what we needed to do.
Investigators are now tracing the couple's money trail. Almost $30,000 showed up in their account days before that massacre.
The FBI now says those two shooters supported ISIS and had been planning their attack for years. This has many people wondering, are there ISIS terrorists right here in Wisconsin? Charles
Benson talked to the local FBI about what they're doing and how you can keep the homeland safe.
Yeah, the numbers are daunting. This year, the FBI has said that there are 900 investigations into potential ISIS sympathizers. Those cases are spread out over all 50 states. That would average about 18 per state. Now, locally, the FBI would not give us any specific numbers, but we do know of at least one case in Wisconsin.
We've seen certain incidents over the past couple of years that give us cause for concern for copycat incidents here within the homeland.
Joe Lair is part of the FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force in Wisconsin. He says a key part of that team is the public, who sees something and says something.
So a call to one is truly a call to all.
Just last week, Wisconsin launched a toll-free line for people to call in tips of any suspicious activity. Lear believes the public can play an important role, especially when it comes to social media.
It could also be while you're at home on your social media accounts and you see this violent rhetoric extremism. That is something that we are very interested in investigating.
In fact, concerns about this Madison man led to his arrest in April. Joshua Van Haften was accused of trying to help ISIS. His mother claims Van Haften has mental illness problems. He's now charged with trying to help a foreign terrorist organization. How many other cases are out there?
Please understand that those individuals that we're investigating here, the full width and breadth of our legal authorities are being used to mitigate those threats.
In fact, the FBI says it has made 70 ISIS-related arrests this year nationwide. We're live in Milwaukee. Charles Benson, today's TMJ4.
All right, Charles, thanks. Sharp criticism today from all sides after Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump called for a ban on all Muslims entering the United States. The head of Homeland Security called Trump's plan irresponsible.
We are renouncing and rejecting his remarks, and we want to continue to build bridges with the Muslim community. Help us help you.
House Speaker Paul Ryan also condemning Trump's comments. He says it does not represent the Republican Party or this country.
Some of our best and biggest allies in this struggle and fight against radical Islamic terror are Muslims. The vast majority of whom are peaceful.
The House voted to pause the refugee program a few weeks ago amid security concerns.
The executive director of the Islamic Society of Milwaukee calls Trump's remarks upsetting.
What troubles me is when he tries to associate the groups of extremists and to try to make those extremists as if they're representative of the entire faith or the entire Muslim community.
Local Holocaust survivor Susie Fono remembers what it was like to be persecuted because of her religion. She and her family were deported from Budapest in 1944 when the Germans invaded Hungary.
because of what we went through. And I don't want anybody, to have feelings against anybody. I'm just scared because there are a few nutcases. You cannot punish a whole society.
Fono's family was eventually helped by a Nazi who took sympathy on them.
A momentous day for Catholics as Pope Francis launched his Holy Year of Mercy today by opening the bronze holy doors at St. Peter's Basilica. The pontiff declared mercy trumps moralizing in the Catholic Church. Holy doors will be swung open at cathedrals around the world starting this Sunday.
Well, check it out. The new marquee is going up outside the Riverside Theater, along with a 40-foot tall vertical sign on West Wisconsin. The new design is all part of a series of renovations, so stay tuned.
Coming up, Senator Bernie Sanders joins Jimmy Fallon tonight on The Tonight Show.
But before he does, we're checking in on his claims on the PolitiFact Truthometer.
Plus, for your health, how your Christmas tree could be making you sick.
And a deadly punishment for a burglary suspect after he picks the wrong hiding spot. More news now. Call it karma or just a series of bad choices. But an alligator ate a burglary suspect in Florida. Someone spotted the suspect near homes and called police, but 10 days later, that suspect's body was found attacked by an alligator in a nearby lake.
A new state law aims to save lives by making a heroin overdose drug more readily available. Governor Walker signed a bill today that allows medical personnel to give Narcan without a prescription. That drug helps reverse the deadly effects of heroin. State Representative John Nygren helped introduce this bill. His daughter has battled addiction for years.
Our goal is to, as the governor said, is to help people get to a point where they're independent and they're in recovery. But to do that, they have to be alive. And having more Narcan available to do that, I think, is a important first step.
Attorney General Brad Schimmel says this new law does not trump statutes requiring a recipient name with a prescription.
Tonight, Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders is Jimmy Fallon's guest.
And before he sits down with Mr. Fallon, we asked our partners at PolitiFact how he scored on the Truthometer.
Sanders, an outspoken independent senator from Vermont, is no stranger to the PolitiFact Truthometer. PolitiFact has checked 43 claims from Sanders since 2009. 18% have been rated true, 35% mostly true, 19% have scored half true, 28% rated mostly false or false, though none of his claims have been rated pants on fire. Sanders has been talking about wealth and income equality for many years. They are driving themes of his campaign. In 2010, during an 8-hour filibuster speech, Sanders said, quote, "The top 1% in the United States earn more than 23% of all income." That claim rates true. Studies show the top 1% earn between 21.4 and 23.5% of the national income back in 2007, more than the entire bottom 50%. Another common Sanders claim is that the United States spends twice as much per capita on health care as any other nation on earth. PolitiFact rates this claim false. The U.S. does spend more per person than any other country, but not twice much. The most recent data from the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development shows the U.S. spending $8,700 per person in 2013. Switzerland and Norway came in second and third at $6,300 and $5,800 per person.
It'll be an eclectic couch next to Jimmy Fallon tonight. You're going to get Senator Sanders, pro wrestler John Cena, and singer Troye Sivan. They all join Jimmy Fallon on The Tonight Show in about 20 minutes.
Well, the annual sports auction for MAC is coming up this Friday, believe it or not.
And there are all kinds of sports-related memorabilia you can bid on. 25 different items to be precise.
And we have one right here. They include this game-worn Elian Herrera jersey. He's a free agent at the moment, but he was a Milwaukee Brewers utility infielder.
That jersey is double framed and matted, as you can see right there on your widescreen TVs at home. Thanks to the Brewers for donating a one-of-a-kind item to the sports auction.
And don't miss your chance to bid on all 25 of our great items. Join us Friday from 3 to 5 p.m. All goes to a good cause.
Yes, it does. A holiday tradition may be causing your allergies to act up. Some call it Christmas tree syndrome. The decor that brings you all that holiday cheer can also release some allergens into the air. Doctors say antihistamines and nasal steroid sprays can help.
Well, we had a mild December night across southeast Wisconsin.
We found some folks out and about on Wisconsin Avenue. No hats or earmuffs needed. The temperatures only climbing this week. Here's our chief meteorologist, John Milan.
I see no slipping and sliding going on there, and it's because it can happen. We have a very mild night setting up across southeast Wisconsin. Check out these temperatures so far from December 1st through today. We started out above normal. Once you get to December, your average high temperature is down in the 30s. Then we had 2 days right around average, and then look at the 50 last Friday, upper 40s Saturday, and we stayed well above normal right through today. And you know what, folks, it's just going to get warmer than that for the next few days. That's because we have 50s and even 60s out to our west. All the air coming across the country right now has started in the Pacific Ocean and comes straight across on a very zonal flow, or a very strong flow coming out of the Pacific. That's that El Nino jet stream. 44 right now in Racine, also in Kenosha, 44 Lake Geneva, Whitewater, and 43 in Watertown. A very mild night, and it's going to stay right around there, upper 30s to right around 40 or 41 degrees. A little warmer lakeside, upper 30s to around 40 degrees away from the lake. So a very mild night setting up with a chance for a few sprinkles. Now there's these very, very light rain showers moving in from southwest Wisconsin, starting to cross into Dane County and towards Green Lake County and Marquette County. And you can see this is an area of just a small disturbed weather pattern that's coming in out of western and northwest Wisconsin. A weak little low that's in the middle atmosphere right now. But that kind of moves out. Weak wind shift line moving in with it. Clouds will stick around all night, maybe a sprinkle in the morning, maybe a couple of good breaks in that sky cover in the afternoon. We could certainly use a little sunshine around here with the warm air. In winter, you always get clouds, and then very warm air settling in for Thursday, where we'll see those temperatures jump into the mid-50s, and there's just mild air behind that weak wind shift line that comes in on Thursday. So for tonight, 41 degrees at the lakeshore, 38 inland. Our normal high temperature is 35. That's for a high. South winds 4 to 15. A few sprinkles could be around. Then for tomorrow, we might have a morning sprinkle. 47 once again, a very mild day, west-southwest winds. And then we really see a warm up into Thursday with partly to mostly cloudy skies and a high of 54 degrees. And this stretch of 50 should go right on into the weekend with 50 and some sunshine on Friday. Rain moves in late on Saturday. 51 degrees. Still should see temperatures around 50 with morning rain on Sunday. And we will cool down Monday and Tuesday, but both of those temperatures are above normal. In the morning hours, Luca Dornbach, he is a handsome young man, and he's like, wow, 42 degrees at the lake in the morning. Wow. That's
no hat, no
warmer
gloves.
than high. I had to, you know, it's just so mild out there. So
you didn't have to cover up his cute face this year.
No, I never will do that.
Thank you, John. Well, coming up next in sports, how a Packers rookie running back gets the thrill of a lifetime. Rod Burks after the break.
And now, it's time for Packers Extra from today's TMJ4.
Packers rookie wide receiver Ty Montgomery was back on the practice field today. It was his first practice since re-injuring his ankle in practice back in mid-November. Also working out with the team today was cornerback Demarius Randall, who missed last week's Lions game. The Packers getting ready to host the Cowboys this Sunday at Lambeau Field. Dallas coming off a dramatic win over the Redskins last night thanks to this game-winning kick with 9 seconds left in the game. But we all remember the no catch by Dez Bryant that resulted in the Packers win in the playoffs last season. Here's James Jones on playing the Cowboys.
You know, they're going to come in here, man, they're a game out of first. You know, they trying to make it to the playoffs. We trying to make it to the playoffs. So they're going to come in here amped up, you know, especially off what happened last year. You know, I'm sure they got a little bit more fire up under them. So, like I said before, good defense, fast defense. It'll be a good game.
And no catch. And what a turn of events for Packers rookie running back John Crockett last week. Here's a guy who was only on the trip with the team in Detroit because he was the practice squad player of the week. Then the next thing he knows is the Packers release Alonzo Harris on the trip and activate Crockett to the active roster hours before kickoff. He ended up with 22 yards on 5 carries and memories for a lifetime.
When you get the call, it's kind of like, what, right now? Seriously? All right, well, I guess we got to get it. But it was definitely one of those moments that I dreamed about. And when it came, it came so fast that I couldn't overthink it, and that was the best thing. It's kind of crazy when you see number 12 running around there. You're finally like, I guess I'm in the huddle with this guy. Like it was scary, but you know, you kind of sit back and relax and just you enjoy the moment. You know, my job, I was going to go out there and play with a bunch of enthusiasm and just play the game, and we'll see what happens.
You pull for guys like that. Coming up in our second segment of sports, Marquette was back on the court tonight. I've got highlights for you after the break. The Marquette Golden Eagles back on the home court tonight, hosting San Jose State at the BMO Harris Bradley Center. Let's go ahead and get you to the highlights. The Golden Eagles got off to a hot start. Sandy Cohen had a monster game. He nails the trifecta, and folks, he's just getting started. Henry Ellenson had another strong game. He gets the deuce inside to go. He had 20 points and 8 rebounds. Golden Eagles led by 24 points in the first half. Later in the game, Dwayne Wilson drives. He misses it, but Luke Fisher's got his back with a two-hand rim rocker. Fisher with 11 points, but the night belonged to Cohen. He had 6 triples and 24 points. Marquette rolling tonight, folks, 80-62. The Kohl Center should be rocking tomorrow night when the Badgers hosting the Milwaukee Panthers. Now, the Panthers will have their work cut out for them trying to snap a 22-game losing streak against the Badgers tomorrow night. Here's Bo Ryan.
Yeah, we've done it so many times now. It's he's been there 10 years. So you know, he's got him playing this year. He's got a good team, real good team. Watched them 3 or 4 games, and when they're hitting threes, I mean, they're posting up too. They're getting something out of the inside game. But a lot of those guys are starting to play like he did when he was in college. He was good. Referring to, of course, Rob Jeter, for those that aren't familiar with who we're talking about.
Tip-off time for tomorrow's game is 8 p.m. in Madison. That's sports for tonight. We're back with more news after the break.
And here are tonight's winning Mega Millions numbers: 7, 17, 37, 49, 73. The Mega Ball 15, Mega Plier times 3.
Great numbers tomorrow. Also, we start out at 42 degrees,
wow,
getting up into the mid to upper 40s in the afternoon. Maybe a few breaks of sunshine around midday, late morning into the early afternoon. Cross your fingers for that, folks.
Wow, that's very unbelievable,
Cross
isn't
your
it?
fingers.
Okay, thank you.
Vinny and Susan fired back up 4:30 tomorrow morning. Good night, everybody.
Thanks for joining us.